Should public speaking be taught in school? Some people would say yes. Others would say no. And you may be wondering if I work in education to ask this question. No, actually I don't. But I have a few scars that allow me to ask this question. I've always feared public speaking since I was a kid in my small country in Africa called São Tomé and Príncipe. However, because my brother and my hero, 13 years older than me, was a confident speaker, I believed that my fear was just a childish trait that would disappear naturally as I grew older. And I did, as you can see. I became taller, smarter, and taller again. And my fear became bigger, scarier, and bigger again. I thought that something was wrong with my growth process, and I was not transitioning from a teenager to a man. Therefore, I was ashamed of being afraid of public speaking, and the fear of public speaking became my deepest and best kept secret. The one I thought I would bury inside me for life. Imagine if public speaking was taught in school. I tell you, my personal life, my academic life, and my professional life would have been radically less painful. Let's start with my personal life. I would hide from any hypothetical public speaking situations, inventing tons of excuses to avoid attending certain events that I would have loved to attend, including my own birthday parties. It left my personal confidence with a scar. That's why in the early 90s, when I decided to go to university in Portugal, I didn't choose any field related to people. I said, nah, I'm okay with computers. Still, one day, I was not able to escape. While presenting a group project at university, it was the most embarrassing moment in my entire life. In front of the class, I was shaking, sweating, my heart was racing, my mouth was completely dry, and I could hardly speak. After that day, I started skipping classes because of shame, embarrassment, and fear. None of the subjects I learned in school could have prevented that painful experience, but public speaking would have. It left my academic confidence with a scar. There is an American president whose name I will not reveal because it is Barack Obama. Despite his intellectual capabilities, many people, including myself, believe that he would have never been elected without his public speaking skills. And I brought this example to illustrate the huge impact public speaking can have on one's career. I want you to reflect in the following questions. How do you run your meetings? How do you deliver your presentations? How do you pitch your ideas? Talk with investors, clients, and very important, how do people around you perceive your competences and trust you? Many articles support what I've just said. You can find them in Harvard Business Review, Forbes magazine, the New York Times, and others reputable publications. Public speaking impact our career progression, period. And I'm quite certain that we all want to succeed in our professional life, right? Let me share with you how I started my professional life. It was late 1996, and I was an intern in a software company in Lisbon. Great feeling. I was doing fine. One day I was told that I had to present my internship report at university or else I would not receive my diploma. I was suddenly flooded with images of embarrassment from the group project presentation. I became anxious and I started having sleepless nights. Have you ever tried to work after sleepless nights? Now imagine after several sleepless nights. My managers held a meeting to find out why my performance had suddenly declined. But how? How could I reveal my best kept secret? How could I tell them that I was not a grown-up man yet? Because that's what the fear of public speaking meant to me at the time. And my performance didn't improve. So at the end of November 1997, I got fired from my first job ever. It led my professional confidence with a scar. In January 1998, I found a new job, but it was not easy. Before that, we had the month of December, which is month of Christmas, light, family, happiness, and there I was, by myself, unemployed, and feeling lost in my tiny room in Lisbon, away from my family in Africa, and wondering, should I go back to my country and, unlike my siblings, without a diploma and being considered the loser of the family? Should I stay in Portugal and likely get a job where most immigrants from my country worked at the time in construction sites? I also had a question for the universe. There are billions of people on earth. Why me? If public speaking was taught in school, I should have realized earlier that I was not the only one, because the fear of public speaking is one of the most common fears among humans. When I found a new job in January 1998, I made an unthinkable decision that brought some sadness to my mom and dad. I quit presenting my internship report and did not complete my university degree, which, by the way, I would complete years later by sending a work experience report instead, by email, of course. But I had to quit. I had to sleep. I had to be at my best for my new job. I don't want to sound immodest or like bragging, but it turned out to be a very wise decision. Because as soon as I started the new job, I became in the entire company the most competent, the most efficient, and the most innovative in how to avoid public speaking. It was the only way I found to build a decent career in my field of study, computer science. And I still remember, in 2013, after being a project manager for 6 years, I was promoted to director. reporting to the executive board. And instead of feeling joy and happiness, I felt fear and pain in my stomach. As a director, my best kept secret would be unfolded easily and publicly. What should I do? Since I was pursuing my MBA at the time, I decided to seek help from not one, not two, but 3 of my professors individually. And they told me, Izidro, to overcome the fear of public speaking, you have to speak in public more often. It sounded to me as if I have afraid to die, I had to die more often. At that point, I was completely hopeless and desperate. But in 2017, I was lucky to be introduced to Toastmasters, a worldwide organization that helps individuals to improve their communication skills. I learned how to control my fears a little bit and to speak up. And then I won several international speech contests. I became the first person from Portugal reaching the final of the World Championship of Public Speaking, which means being the top 8 out of 30,000 contestants worldwide. It was like coming from the darkness to the light, coming from surviving to actually have a life. We cannot change the past, but we can change the future. And I'm counting on you on that, because several research studies provide evidence that teaching public speaking to children and adolescents improved their confidence, their collaboration, their communication, listening, and critical thinking abilities, while also reducing speaking anxiety. Isn't that wonderful? Research also highlighted that the earlier a child learns to speak in public, the greater the benefits will be. I don't know how many of you have children, grandchildren, or will have one. But while the education system doesn't fully embrace public speaking, I tell you to teach public speaking to your children, because my scars tell me that it is one of the greatest gifts you can give them. Believe me, I know. And finally, I would love you to hear you loudly. Should public speaking be taught in school? Yes or no? Yes. I love you.